Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey in unpacking one Chinese expression a day. So recently, we're going to come across some hefty concepts of translation of Western ideas into Chinese language. Yesterday, we talked about egoism, which was translated as 利己主义, which is self-benefiting main idea, right? Or more, master moral. So today we have this 主义. Again, we switch out. We're talking about a different ism, which is collectivism. I'm not even, I don't even heard that term living in English-speaking country that often. We don't really talk about collectivism or individualism as a pair in our daily description of how we think or approach things. And but in China, this concept of 集体主义 was emphasized. This is the main thing. And so I would imagine this is a kind of like a Marxism, right? Marxism was originated from Germany, right? And then that's a school of thought, and then was used, traveled to become the main idea for socialism, right? And it was practiced out in this big piece of land in China. And this 集体主义, it's kind of like a supporting idea of that to understand why Chinese behave differently from the Western cultural collectively. No. Okay, so in comparison to the West, Chinese would regard themselves, they have more 集体主义 as a social, tightly knit social society that they would regard themselves, or at least promote the idea of 集体主义, like consider yourself within the group, the group, the benefit of the group go first before individual needs and wants. Like it's always the group goal is prioritized than individuals. So that's what the flavor in China when I heard 集体主义 sounds like. Okay, we have three little birds stacking up together. So if it's a three, it means a cloud of birds. We cannot afford more expression of that than like drawing out the three birds at one time. That's already a lot of strokes to render out. So individual birds will have this peak of the bird, the head of the bird, and then the fluffy hairs of the bird, the feathers of the bird, and then this is the aerodynamic streaks of the little feet tucked back of the bird. So this is a side view to capture the main characters of a bird. So three of them stack up on top of a tree. You can see they almost like squash that tree over there. But the tree symbol in contemporary, it looks like this, right? In traditional, it's upward turning arch, downward turning arch connected by a vertical line. And that came from this canopy of the tree and this what we call spacer of the tree to emphasize the tree trunk. That's what we talking about. It's a plant, but it has a big trunk. So that's what distinguishes it from the other type of plant, and therefore it's a tree. Okay, so a cloud of birds standing on a tree is the definition of a ji. It means gathering, as if you see a cloud of birds staying together. So that's the type of visuals we have. Okay, so it simply means a group or gathering. 体, this came from, well, this is getting a little bit complicated. So the left side means 谷, and the right side is the crops put in a container. That's I guess in ancient times, besides the sheep as a sacrifice, we also offering the best crops in a container, I would imagine a nicely carved, decorated container as an offering to the divine, like whoever provide us the rich environment, nice weather to be able to harvest this crop. So this crops harvested, put in a container, and then this is a cookware, actually, a cookware on a stand on the ground with the lid. So we have the whole image on the right side of offering of crops ready to, like, a best crops of the year, I guess, in there as an offering to the divine. And the left side is 骨, that means bones. So here you can see it's almost like a visually the joint of your body. Okay, joint before a long strand of bones, and then the interconnected part, right? And then we have the meat symbol, kind of like omega sign with two horizontal lines, kind of streaking down to show the patterns on the meat. So this is meat next to a bone, simply to emphasize, okay, this is the bone part that we're talking about. It is next to the muscles or the meat of the body. So the whole thing is almost like your body is like your vessel of holding the best offerings of you. And definitely the bone and the meat symbol over there shows this is the anatomy or the structure of human body, and consider it to be the best offerings of you, or the best props of you, or as this vessel of yourself to, I guess, to become to consider your body to be the vessel that you can eventually offer the best crops of you, the best versions of you. Anyways, it's a little bit long-winded stretch, but we use that as the symbol for body, for human body. And group body or gathering body, body simply talks about something with, I guess, external boundary that you like. Our body is defined by the boundary of skins, right? So the whole vessel within there with the bones and joints, all that, that's considered our body. And then the gathering or group then viewed as one integrated body, as if it's a human body. So that's kind of expand from the individual. Now we're counting all the birds on that tree as one unified body, as if it's self-contained. So it's this boundary concept expressing there. So 集体 means it's composed of individuals. It's a gathering, but it has a boundary. Okay, so that's 集体主义. Again, we have this master that come from this candle holder with a candle light over there, and the light source was regarded as the leading. You can regard it as the light comes from it, either make people follow the light, or extend it into make people follow the thought. So this light source from this candle light, visual candle holder, and the light itself expressed here eventually to mean the master. That's simply where people look to, turn to, where your attention is attracted to. That's the light source. Okay, so that's master. And E, we have the sheep symbol on the top, horns, fluffy hairs, and the bottom is concept of eye, that made of two weaponry and connected by this horizontal line. So you can see this pointy thing, that's weaponry from before. I mean, farming to converted weaponry. So we have sheep composed of this, you're supposed to fight for your tribe. You're supposed to sacrifice for your tribe. That becomes the sense of moral, or the, capture the essence of what you're supposed to do, as a sacrifice, as a defender of your of your tribe back then. So that's the concept of moral. So master moral is a Chinese way to translate ism, the main idea or school of thought. And then 集体主义 simply to emphasize the grouping, the whole group. You thinking, like compared with 利己主义, right? Yesterday we're talking about 利己主义 is you're thinking individually from yourself and actually with a deficiency of thinking from other people's perspective. To look at the things from a bigger picture. You're self-centered. That's egoism. But 集体主义 is about looking at yourself as part of this gathering, this part of this organization, a body. Instead of looking at yourself, you lose yourself into that cloud of bird. Okay, so that's collectivism. And I'm showing this picture. I got it from of course, a Chinese source, and in today's day, they're still emphasizing 集体主义 to encourage people, individuals to think for their organization or think for, beyond themselves or probably big picture, so that they are not self-centered, they consider themselves of one part of a big mission or goal. And here they have a quote from Lei Feng, which was, iconized in China as a big hero because he's an everyday man, is a soldier, and he kind of help people. I don't remember exactly what it is, but he kind of followed the Mao idea closely and be ultra like don't consider his own interest, but he always try to do things for the benefit of others. And consider himself to be part of a bigger thing. And here is supposedly what he said. He said a drop of water can easily dry up without being put into the ocean. So drop of water and ocean is this contrast of individual and the group, right? And you are going to lose yourself. You're going to dry, you're going to disappear, basically, if you don't be part of the ocean, okay? And then, using that parallelism to say that individuals only when joined with your group mission can you really be powerful. Okay, so that's the main idea of collectivism. So I did a little bit check up of what exactly collectivism is about. So it turned out it actually tied with colonial era, when the Western explorers basically roam around the globe to check out the different civilizations that speak different languages or group their society differently. And from their perspective, this colonizers from their perspective, or explorers, that they look at the societies of on the other side of the globe or hemisphere, that they are more collectivism than them. They regard themselves as individualism because individualism are bounded by contracts, and the individuals can stand against a group, like individuals are singled out, like running the society on the basis of individuals rather than groups. And they find this contrast with other societies, that they don't really emphasize individuals, and individuals is always like packed into this group. You cannot really run your business or go against the group. Your own always exist in the context of the group. And so that's the distinction from the colonizers, that society is collectivism versus their legal contracts-based individualism. So that's interesting. I don't know if, like, as a Chinese, I don't really know what 集体主义, this translation, this collectivism, where it came from, where it was originated. I don't know if the Chinese back then really know the origin of this concept of collectivism, but it's from colonialism observation. Okay, cash inter, continue thinking about one more day with Sophie. See you another day.